everyone, and welcome to another episode of Covideo Connection. I'm Aaron, and this is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Week. In the mid-'80s, they actually made an animated He-Man movie. It was only in theaters for a little while, though, because it was actually split up into 5 episodes for TV, and actually became the pilot for She-Ra, a new series that was similar to He-Man. In this movie, we're introduced to Etheria, a new world that, unlike Eternia, which was ruled by a good king and protected by He-Man, Etheria was run by an evil faction called the Horde. And we do meet some good guys, but they're considered the Rebellion. We're also introduced to this concept as good guys, as rebels, in Star Wars, because the Empire rules the galaxy, the evil Empire. So the question is, does God want us to rebel? After all our lives we're told not to rebel against our parents, not to rebel against our teachers, to obey authority, obey all the laws. So does God want us to rebel? The short answer is no. It's clear in the Bible that God wants us to obey all our authorities, even if we don't agree with them or their decisions. God says that He has placed every person that is in an authority there for a reason. Not saying that He necessarily approves of them or that they're being good leaders. It's just that they're there for a reason. Our only job when it comes to authority is to pray for our leaders. We're to pray for our Prime Minister, our MP, our MPPs, and our local mayor. That's really our only job. The only time God says it's okay to rebel against authority is if they say you can't worship God, because obviously that's something that God wants us to do. Earlier this year, a lot of people sort of got confused with that, with the COVID-19. When a lot of churches had to close, many people mistook that as the government saying you can't worship, but that's not true. The government said you can still worship, you just can't worship together, especially when the virus was at its peak. I personally love doing church at home. I can get up at 10:15 and still not be late for church.
Just as I suspected. Hello, you metal-munching moron.
Hello, everybody. This is your old pal Timothy with another Bible verse. Aaron today talked about how we should obey authority, which is true, but what happens when evil comes our way? We find a cure for that in Ephesians 6, verses 10 and 11. Finally, be strong in the Lord and His mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can stand against the devil's schemes.
Let me capture her, Skeletor.
Forget it, Furball. Teela's mine. And what luck! She can't call for help. That means no He-Man rushing to her rescue.
Oh, I never get to do the fun stuff.
So although He-Man was a cartoon, they actually came out with a comic book for He-Man and the Masters of the Universe as well. And one day I just happened to be rifling through some comics at a comic book convention and found the #1 issue of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And so, of course, I had to pick it up. And it's in a nice little packaging here. And, yeah, the very first issue of Masters of the Universe comics, part of my collection. Yes, I am a nerd. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I will see you tomorrow.